Something is up with Dupe's hole, and I'm going to figure out what it is. Alright, so in case you weren't aware, Dupe received a complete visual overhaul in the Floor 2 update for Roblox doors. The entity now has completely new animations, as well as some visual improvements, such as a new higher quality face. However, probably the most interesting thing about this new version of Dupe, especially to us theorists, is the room which Dupe resides in. You see, whenever you use a crucifix on this entity, you can essentially enter the room they inhabit, almost as if you're going inside of their body. And there is some pretty strange stuff in there, including a completely new mystery which I will be aiming to solve. In this video, I'll be theorizing about what exactly is the purpose of Dupe's hole, so let's begin. Alright, so as I had stated, after crucifying Dupe, you can go inside the room they inhabit. However, what is so peculiar about this room is that it actually appears to be the inside of their body. In this room, players can find flesh-like walls all around them, as well as what appears to be various veins and arteries hanging from the ceiling. You can even see Dupe's chopped-off arms lying on the ground, likely as a result from crucifying them. However, the most compelling aspect of this room is the giant hole in the ceiling. This hole has been confusing many theorists in the community, as its true purpose remains a mystery. Now, let's get the facts of this hole out of the way so we can fully understand what we are working with. The hole is very obviously the most important part of Dupe's room, given how not only is it smack dab in the middle of the ceiling, but also how it is the only part of the room which is bathed in a bright red light. Additionally, although technically the hole is finite, if we look at its model in Roblox Studio, it is designed in such a specific way that in-game it seems to twist and turn for a long time. So that should be taken into consideration when theorizing about it. Lastly, the red light itself and its source in the hole likely isn't important. I assume it's just there to illuminate the one part of the room so players can more easily see it, so I doubt it has any lore significance. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into the actual theorizing. The most common theory I've seen floating around about this hole is that it's how Dupe travels from one door to the next. Essentially, this theory implies that Dupe is a singular entity rather than a species, and each hole in each room connects to one another, so Dupe can freely travel all across the hotel and the mines. Now, despite this being the generally accepted theory, it can easily be disproven. For one, Dupe is most likely a species rather than a singular entity. This is known as players can regularly encounter multiple different Dupes in the same room. Furthermore, crucifying one Dupe cuts off their arms, yet the loss of limbs doesn't affect other Dupes, meaning there has to be more than one. So this means that the hole likely isn't used as a method of travel for Dupe, given how each room is its own entity. Okay, so if that isn't it, what else could the hole be used for? Well, given how it is found inside Dupe's body, it could have a biological purpose rather than a more supernatural one. My original theory for the hole was maybe it is some type of internal organ for Dupe, or a place where organs are stored. This could explain its large size, but it isn't a specific enough answer, so I really didn't accept it. This was the point where I was stuck, and I almost was going to scrap this video. It seemed that no matter what I did, I couldn't figure out what was inside Dupe's hole. However, in my moment of need, I came across a theory which perfectly explains the hole. This theory follows the original thought I had, where the hole has a biological purpose for Dupe, but it narrows down what this purpose is to one thing. This theory suggests that this hole could be Dupe's esophagus. Now, I actually think this is the most likely theory, and here's why. The esophagus, for those who don't know, is a long pipe in your body which connects the mouth to the stomach. And not only does the description of an esophagus match up with the visual appearance of the hole, that being a long winding tube, but it also lines up with one of the behaviors of Dupe. You see, we know based on El Goblino's dialogue lines that a majority of entities do in fact hunt players to eat them. Furthermore, if a player dies to Dupe, the entity will grab their body and pull them upwards, which is the direction of where their esophagus is located. Everything from Dupe's behaviors to the hole's physical appearance seems to suggest that the hole is actually the entity's esophagus. Okay, so now that it has been figured out what the hole is, or at least what it likely is, that being Dupe's esophagus, what does it mean for the entity? Well, given how the esophagus connects the mouth to the stomach, it means that Dupe in reality is a much larger creature than what is seen in-game. The room which can be accessed after crucifying Dupe is merely just the behind of the entity's mouth, with the rest of the body being hidden away behind layers of flesh, and that is pretty terrifying to think about. So I guess that answers the mystery of Dupe's hole. To summarize, it is likely the esophagus of the entity serving the purpose of supplying food to the stomach. It is kinda crazy how these entities have somewhat complex anatomies, and I can't wait to dissect even more of them in the future. Let me know in the comments what you think of this theory, and with all of that being said, thank you all for watching and I hope you enjoy!